Hello there, and welcome back to a word from the Word with Coach D. Discouraged, distressed, indebted, broken, or busted? Here's some hope. Creation continues to speak with this quick word today. I am bringing you encouragement from my beautiful plant, David. So one day I was out on the lawn, and almost under my feet was this tiny four-leaf thing, as small as a hand. And I thought to myself, what is this strange plant doing here? You could almost walk over it unnoticed. I decided to pluck it up, put it in a pot, and nurture it, and this is how it became David. But this plant reminds me of a Bible verse, a Bible story, and a strange sighting. The Bible verse, the main one for today, comes from 2 Corinthians 4 8 to 9. And it says, "We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." I thought of how easily this abandoned plant could have been destroyed and crushed underfoot, and how often we as people also feel alone, misplaced, and forgotten, sometimes downtrodden by the hardships of life. But look how that plant grew into this beautiful, tall plant. The Bible story. This plant also reminded me of a story in the Bible when David was hiding in a cave as Saul was trying to kill him. So 1 Samuel 22 1 to 2 records, David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Adullam. When his brothers and his father's household heard about it, they went down to him there. All those who were in distress or in debt or discontented gathered around him, and he became their commander. About 400 men were with him. The Message version describes this group of men as down on their luck, losers, vagrants, and misfits of all sorts. How many times have we all felt like this at some point? I know that I have felt like a misfit a good few times. You see, these distressed, indebted, discontented men came and found David in the cave of Adullam, which means a retreat or a refuge. And they began to gather around him and offer him protection, and he rose to become their commander. These seemingly sorrowful bunch were in considerable debt, and they were actually in danger of being sold into slavery by their creditors. But who knows? In fact, it is likely that out of these 400 indebted, distressed losers, vagrants, and misfits were part of David's mighty men, further described in 2 Samuel 23. One of these mighty men killed 800 men in one battle by himself. These men that came from nowhere in all kinds of mess became mighty men. So don't count yourself out. If you will remember, Jesus' team included all kinds: a tax collector, a fisherman, a zealot, a seemingly strange mismatched bunch. But these men became the greatest apostles of the first church. You see, God often chooses the weak things to shame the strong. That's what it says in 1 Corinthians 1:27. The sighting. Then a few weeks ago, I was driving and a sheep with one of his back legs looking almost broken. It was bent and he was limping trying to cross the road with all this traffic. And my heart went out to the sheep, but I couldn't help him. But at that moment, my spirit said to me, isn't that just like us though? Just lost sometimes, alone and limping from heartache, illness, lack, dysfunction, debt, just trying to get from one chapter of life to another in all the seemingly craziness of this world. But he got to the other side. But back to my plant, David. You see, transformation is always possible. Once there's life, there is hope. So, let me encourage you today. If you have felt like an overlooked, almost downtrodden plant, remember, God can reposition you, replant you in Christ, water you with His Word, and cause you to grow into something beautiful and magnificent. If you have felt like one of those loser crowds, discontented, discouraged, in debt up to your eyeballs, remember, God can align you with the right people and leadership, and you can become a mighty warrior doing great exploits spoken about for generations to come. And if you have felt like that lost and alone and broken sheep trying to get from A to B, remember Psalm 23 assures you that you have a shepherd who protects and leads and guides you and who prepares a table before you in the presence of the very enemies that you are facing. So, no matter what things look like now and how you feel, God is all wise, God is all love, God is all powerful, and your future can be vastly different in the hands of an omnipotent God. Be encouraged, be blessed. Until next time, Coach D.